Hello friends. Now let us take up the concept number 3.12, essential characteristics of a program. Actually, in this concept I am going to explain of what is an essential characteristics. If you want to become a proficient programmer as well as a disciplined programmer, then you must understand the spirit of all these characteristics, and you must implement all these characteristics in your program as far as those are possible. Actually, this is not overnight job. This is like a discipline. You should know that and you should implement it. Don't expect that once you become a professional programmer, you implement. That is a wrong concept. Many people feel that once they become professional programmer, they implement discipline and all that until in the learning stage they want to behave as they like. That is not at all a good concept. It is like making your signature. Day one, you practice one type of signature. Throughout your life, you use the same signature. If you want to change it also, automatically, purposefully or voluntarily you may change it, but by default, the original signature only you put. In the same manner, discipline or culture should start in the beginning itself. Then only it is maintained as well as it is improved. So you must become a disciplined programmer, not only proficient. You must become a disciplined programmer by adopting all these essential characteristics in your programmer. Then tomorrow, if you become a leader, then you can impose, you can guide your assistants to follow this discipline. If you don't have discipline and all that, you cannot guide others. That's why you understand the spirit of all these elements, all these essential characteristics, and implement all these characteristics as far as applicable to your program from the day one. Okay, the first one is accuracy. Why we write programs? We write programs for the sake of performing computations mainly. So these computations are not accurate. Why should we use programs? Accuracy is not there. All the good features of the program, all other good features of the program are defeated. So you should thoroughly test the accurate working of the program. Already I explained to you, through program testing process you have to test the accurate working of the program, and you should 100% satisfy with that. There should not be a simple loophole or no compromise on this issue. The first thing is, when you develop the program, you should satisfy itself. It should give result 100% accurately, and then you have to deliver the system to the client. Or otherwise, if client finds any inaccuracies, then you have to go to him and you have to give explanation to him, and you have to provide services to him freely, and all this at the cost of your goodwill. That point always you remember. Thereafter, uniformity. Actually, this is also very important. Actually, many types of elements we use in our programs and all that. For one type of element only, different alternatives are provided. So, in such case, whatever alternative you like in the beginning, that in one program, as far as that point is concerned, that element is concerned, you maintain uniformity. For example, just one example I give you, uh, average marks. Average marks. A simple example I am showing you. In order to write uh, the names of variables in C language, two types of styles are there. This is using underscore. If more than one word is there for the variable, you can connect them using underscore, not dash. Or otherwise, this is called camel notation. Both are valid. So, what is uniformity? Through this example, I am going to explain. You are writing a C program. In that, for certain variables, you follow this style. Certain other variables in the same program, if you follow this type, is a very bad practice. Actually, for reader, it creates a doubt, unnecessary doubt. Because why he gets a doubt? Why for some elements you have used this notation, for some other elements of same type use this notation. Unnecessarily, why you should create confusion for him and all that? I am talking about one program. In one program, for similar type of element, don't use different styles. Suppose one program uses this style, another program uses this style. That may not be wrong. So always, this is just example. In the same way, in your programs, when several alternatives are available in one program, in any particular program, as far as that element is concerned, you must maintain the uniformity, same style. That point you must remember. Thereafter, readability. Readability is mainly required for the human being, not machine, not computer. For computer purpose, you must strictly follow the syntax rules. If you violate the syntax rules, definitely it reports an error, and until unless you correct the last error in the program, it never be compiled. That's why you do that. But as far as these programs are meant for humans, actually the readability factor always you must take into consideration. There are several norms actually throughout my lecture, wherever context comes, how to improve the readability. I tell you in the particular context. Here I cannot list out all the things. Just for example, you write a plus b. A plus b, simply if you write that and all that, system does, because syntactically this is correct. System never claim an error, never complain on you. But when you type this, plus is little better. Suppose a minus b, if you write, minus is not readable properly. It is very difficult to read. So whenever you use this type of binary operator means they take two operands. So leave space around that, around the symbol. Now it is just compare. This is readable. So don't ignore human being. Without ignoring human being, you cannot do anything. So always improve. There are several norms. So we write self documentation through comments and all that. We, after one module of code, one segment of code, we leave a line gap and give another segment of code. If you write like this and all that, program is highly readable. Your program should not be like a code heap. Understand? It is like your good handwriting. If you have a good handwriting and all that, what is the content is next. As soon as somebody sees your handwriting, definitely he gets a first impression on you. He forms a first impression on you because of your handwriting. In the same way, in programming, there is no handwriting, everything typed. Even though, one thing I want to tell you, if you follow the norms which are created, conventions created for improving the readability, if you follow your program, readability is improved, and the readers are inclined to read your program. Otherwise, it looks like a dump of code. People are not inclined to read it, and they never have a good impression on you. That point always you remember. Readability, many norms I introduce. In every context, I will explain you some norms. Now, fourth one, efficiency. Actually, efficiency means this is belong to your computer. Your computer should execute your program in a efficient manner. Efficient means you should execute faster. So your computer should execute your program very faster. Then for the purpose there are two norms. First one is it takes lesser memory space. Actually your program consumes or takes lesser memory space, that is one of the norms. Second one is faster execution time. These are the two norms or parameters for measuring efficiency. So always there are certain norms. This is the too early to explain in which context you have to do and all that. So in the corresponding concepts I will explain to you. So always suppose in C language, if you are thorough with the pointers and all that, pointers are one way low level language. It is closer to low level language. So instead of using other high level elements, if you use pointers, then program is executed faster. Understand? So in that way always whatever are the norms for improving efficiency or optimization of efficiency, then you follow all those norms, then execution time is saved. Okay, now in this context one thing I am telling you, sometimes conflict will come. Readability and efficiency. Actually lesser number of statements are there, obviously it takes lesser memory, it executed faster. Suppose one thing I am telling you, you write, you are a very intelligent programmer and all that, and you write a simple code for achieving enormous task, but ordinary reader, ordinary programmer cannot understand that. You have written only 20 lines and achieved a task, but ordinary programmer cannot understand because of its complexity. Then if you rewrite it, if you replace with 50 lines, then it is highly readable and it is simple statements anybody can understand. Now there is a conflict of interest. What is that? If you write like this, efficiency is improved. Readability is improved because you have written simple statements. But because of 50 statements, obviously efficiency is reduced. So a conflict comes. Then you have to decide. Then efficiency and readability. Then readability takes the priority. At the cost of readability, you should not go for efficiency. Few situations are like this and all that. Then you have to understand priorities and go by that. Next thing is modularity. This is very important feature to have perfect command over a program. Actually, when you see a real-time program, it is like a big forest. Then where to start, where to end, you never know and all that. In such a situation and all that, simply writing a big set of statements and all that will not serve the purpose. There is always a scope of error. That's why we have to divide any enormous task into subtask in an integrated manner. You have to apply your brain. But here one saying is there. That saying always you keep in mind in this point, modularity. Keep the forest in view. Keep the entire forest in view. Always deal with one tree. Understand? In forest there are thousands of trees, but entire forest you have to keep in mind. Entire system you have to keep in mind. Always you have to deal with one. Here always you clearly define your project into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modules. So there are 6 modules. Once division is over, you are focusing on module 1. Then strictly focus on that. Don't worry about the remaining things and all that. Just keep in As ultimate task is this, that you keep in view. Keep the forest in mind and always deal with one tree. That always the saying helps you. Modularity, because of this modular approach, you can have control over this thing. Already two, 3 times I explained to you. Any big program is composition of small programs. That point you understand. If you are really good at small programs, automatically by developing small programs or modules and by composing them, by integrating them, you can develop very big programs. Understand? That secret always you remember. That's why if you if you understand the spirit of modularity, you can achieve perfect control over the program, number one, and by this your debugging process becomes very easy process. Okay. Finally, generality. Actually, generality means suppose a task is given and all that, you have to focus on that. How, with the same effort or little marginal effort, how we can make it a general. For example, a stockbroker, a stockbroker uh, engages you for development of his programs and all that, especially for him and all that, for his business. So, if you apply your brain and all that, and you can achieve a generality, not only for the stockbroker, for all stockbrokers, how you can make it applicable. Suppose one college people wanted you to develop a package for managing their college. Then, if you apply your brain and all that, you can develop such a software system. It is applicable to all the colleges with some changes and all that. So that is called generality. Generality, if you can achieve generality and all that, the value of the software project is more and more. Understand? For generality, nobody can achieve overnight. For this purpose, lot of common sense, business intelligence, perseverance, all that are required. Once you have that, once you have that, you apply this feature, this characteristics of generality in our project. By that, your project value is increased, increased multiple times. So, whenever just keep all these points in mind and all that, and from the day one, just many people feel that all these points we can apply for a big programs or projects and all that. That is half truth, half truth. But for the small programs also, you can apply. Now I told you readability, uniformity, accuracy. All these points for small programs also equally applicable. That's why from the day one, I am expecting not only proficient programmers, I want to develop disciplined program. Discipline is very much important in each and every field as well as programming. This point you have to understand. And in this chapter, that is know your programming basics, this is a very core chapter, and most elements are new to you, and you may not understand it fully, but don't worry about that. And one day you can learn all the elements practically and thoroughly.